Yesterday, another thing Joe Douglas was asked
Right.
was how comfortable he is with the deal that they did, as if he's going to come out and say, we got fleeced. That's for people like me to say. They got fleeced. Here's Douglas talking about the terms and that all-important move from number 13 to number 15 in round 1 tomorrow night. Here's Douglas.
Obviously, we're comfortable with how this deal's shaped. In any negotiation, I don't think anyone ever walks away from a negotiation where you feel like you want everything. I mean, at the end of the day, we needed to have 13 players we were really excited about, and now we have to have 15 players that we're really excited about, and I feel comfortable that we have that.
Look, what else is he going to say? Now, I think the Packers are probably discreetly, secretly lighting a cigar and having a drink after getting what they got for a guy who was never going to play for them again, a guy that they could not wait to get rid of, a guy that they want to turn the page on so they can give the ball to Jordan Love, a guy for whom no one else was even in the mix. Who were the Jets competing with? We said this 2 weeks ago with Odell Beckham Jr. and the Ravens deal. Who were the Ravens competing with? Not the Jets, not in that stratosphere of $15 million on a one-year deal, fully guaranteed. The Steelers and Allen Robinson, how they basically stole him from the Rams, and the Rams are paying more than 2/3 of his salary. So not every deal is a win-win. And the Packers won this one. When you consider what they were going to do anyway, for them, the worst-case scenario was Aaron Rodgers showing up, not leaving, and being paid $60 million to sit on the bench all year. And they avoided that. The distraction, everything that would have gone with it, the money, everything, they avoided it. And they got stuff for it. They were able to get rid of Aaron Rodgers, not have to pay him, and they got a lot of stuff for it. The Packers won that trade. I know Jets fans are pissed off to hear it. I don't care. There's a lot of stuff I hear I don't like, but it doesn't make that stuff not true.
All right.
It's true. The Jets got fleeced on this one.
I don't know if I'm going to go fleeced. Okay, that's a little strong for me. That's fine for you to use. But I'm going to, Did the Packers win the trade aspect of it? Sure. Yeah, they did. I don't have any problem saying that. And to me, the thing that is the weirdest part of it is still the part that's for next year. The fact that if he plays 11 games, it goes to a first rounder. That's the part I don't like. I feel like they could have got away with just giving them a next year second rounder, and Green Bay would have buckled at some point before the draft because they wanted those picks, just like Gutekunst said. They want to play. They want to do something here in the draft, or at least have that ability to with all these assets. That's the one I don't. That's the only aspect I don't get. Like, I mean, it could be 11 games, and it could be in and out of the lineup and whatever else, and you don't even come close to the playoffs, and you're going to give away maybe a mid first round pick, high first round pick. That's the one part I don't get, and that's where I certainly think the Packers got over on the Jets a little bit there. So, but at the same time too, just like the Ravens and the Jets, right? I can understand it. I can understand it. They overpaid for a premium of they wanted to put their organization in a place that they felt like the premium was worth paying to get their team and their organization where they wanted it to be. And I can't be mad at them for that. I can't. They felt, Ravens, hey, we need OBJ. It'll help with Lamar Jackson. It'll help with our locker room. It'll help with our young receivers. And it'll help on the field. And, of course, we've already hit on a bunch of the reasons why if you're the Jets, why you want to make it happen right now and get this ball rolling and get everything going in the right direction so we don't have to talk about this and answer questions for the next 4 months here if you're the New York Jets. So, for that, they paid a premium. A little too much for me, obviously too much for you. I get it, but I'm not going to be mad at them for going above and beyond a little bit to get the guy they wanted that they think can maybe take them to the Super Bowl. We always talk about we like those teams that go all in. They're going all in, so I'm not going to be too mad at that.
Right, but you end up pushing more chips into the middle.
You do. They pushed a few more than they had. Yeah,
chips in front of you.
Yeah, that's right.
And look, this goes back to what I said yesterday. I firmly believe the Packers, who have known this guy since he was 21 years old. That's how old he was when he was drafted by the Packers, 2005. They know him well. They know how he operates. They know how he thinks. They know what makes him tick. And I firmly believe they knew at the end of the day the nuclear scenario for the Jets, which was a combination. And I advocated this aggressively. Hey, Jets, you say to the Packers, we don't need this guy here. We can let it play out. He knows the offense. He doesn't need to be here. We don't need him for the offseason program. He doesn't like to be part of it anyway. We don't even need him for the start of training camp. We can push it all the way to week 1. Oh, and by the way, when training camp starts, you better have a locker ready for this guy because he's going to show up. And that's the other side of it. Rodgers has to be committed to this plan where he's going to do what Brett Favre did in 2008 and show up and say, deal with me. The Packers, I believe, knew that Rodgers would not do that, that Rodgers thinks that kind of stuff is beneath him, that he doesn't want that in his life. He doesn't want that disruption to his balance. He doesn't want that negative energy around him, whatever ayahuasca-fueled term that you'd want to use there. But he doesn't want to go through that specific episode of being in a place where no one wants him, so he's not going to do it. That's the key. The Packers were content to do it. Come on, Aaron. You want to do that? You want to get nuts? Let's get nuts. That's what the Packers' attitude was because they knew Aaron wouldn't do it. And that's why at the end of the day, the Jets had to do what they did to get it done. And also, if Rodgers doesn't show up for the offseason program, after they caved prematurely at a time when he still can show up for the offseason program, that's not a positive development for the Jets either. That's what makes that question so important today and the answer so important. And look, yes, I understand there is a technical inconsistency between the Jets taking a negotiating posture with the Packers along the lines of, he doesn't like to be at the offseason program anyway. We don't need to do this now. We can wait until June or July. And the Jets, now that they have him, saying, probably would like you to be here. Because, they've given up too much for him. They've overinvested in it. You better be damn sure they want him there because otherwise, why'd we give up all this stuff when we did? We could have waited. So that again, that's why the most important question far more than anything else, will you be there for the voluntary program?
Yeah, no, it is. It's a huge aspect. And I got to think, one, that Aaron Rodgers is smart enough like he was to pick number 8 and not pick number 12. That he can realize the situation and realize how important. And like we talked about yesterday, I just think with the way this went down and the way Green Bay treated him, I really do think that's going to be just an extra little needle, poker, whatever, to just get him to go, you know what, I'm going to be at every OTA and then some. The hell with Green Bay and a few other 4-letter words to throw in there with it. I'd be shocked. I really would be. And we'll see where it goes. But you're right. It's the most important part of this scenario, especially if you want to, have success there with the Jets and Rodgers this year.
To the extent that any of this is couched as sticking it to Green Bay, that's the way to get him fully committed to the offseason program, fully committed to a second season with the New York Jets, fully committed to doing everything he can to do with the Jets in 1 year or 2 the most of what he ever did with the Packers in 18. So that makes this fascinating. How driven, how committed, how much can he muster from the 39-year-old body by way of will, like what we saw after they drafted Jordan Love in 2020, and that was the red-hot poker that got him to become the league MVP back-to-back season.
Well, the part, too, Mike, that I love about it, too, just with some of the rumors you hear yesterday, right, everybody trying to figure out maybe who the Packers might go up and get, right? And a lot of people have pegged them, which is going to be even more hilarious to the whole situation. A lot of people think they're targeting the Ohio State receiver Jackson Smith and Jigba, right? That's why people think the Patriots want a receiver, so that's why they jumped him. I don't know if I buy that. I mean, do the Patriots seem like they're the type of team that's going to draft a receiver at 14 who didn't play all year with a hamstring injury and runs 4.6? I don't think so. I don't know. Either way, but that's the interesting element. But either way, if they drafted a receiver, in the first round, 4 days later after they finally got rid of Aaron Rodgers, like another slap in their face, his face right there on the way out of the door. It really is, and just makes me chuckle. Sorry, I just felt like I had to bring that up right there.
That is a great point, but we both think they're looking to go even higher. That was your idea from the other day. I wrote about it yesterday and actually gave you.
I saw that. Thank you, Michael.
For all the grief that I give you during the show, when you do have a good idea on the show, I write about it. I don't steal it. I don't act like it was mine. I attribute it to you, and that was a great idea. You were prescient on Monday when you said, I could see the Packers wanting to get this done now because they may have some other move they want to make. They want to have all their draft capital in place so they can do so, and that's exactly what happened. And that move from 15 to 13 that some would downplay from the Jets' perspective, it's just 2 spots. Yeah, it's 2 spots. It's 2 very important spots. And you mentioned Smith and Jigba.
Yeah.
My understanding is the window on him opens at 12 and closes on 22. That's his hot zone. That's where he's going to go. So getting to 13 gets you closer to when the window opens because it opens with the Texans at 12.
Right.
But again, are they looking to package and get up higher to somebody else? Do they want to jump the Texans for Smith and Jigba, or is there somebody else they're looking to get? But that would be the ultimate slap in the face to go out and add a receiver in round 1. I don't see the need for it, because I think they got what they need in Christian Watson and Romeo Doubs.
Right, agreed.
And, they need a veteran in their
slot
to mix
rotation,
in with the young guys.
Right,
I don't think they need another young guy.
I would agree with that too. That's where I gave them a tight end. That's certainly a need of their football team, and we'll see. I don't know. Maybe there's somebody else, like we said, that they're looking to even trade up higher into the first round and make a move or a splash move right there. But I think you said it right, too, with Jackson Smith and Jigba. First off, I think he's one of the most all-over people I talk about in the draft process, Mike. He really is. Like, there's some teams who go, he's one of the top 15 players in the draft. I talk to other teams, and they go, he's not a first-rounder for us. He's a second-rounder. And that's not even the injury related. Some people are a little concerned about he doesn't separate. He's not going to win on the outside. He's slot only. He ran 4.5 at his pro day. At the combine, that's 4.6. And then he didn't play last year because of a hamstring injury. So he's all over. He could be one of those guys that could go as high as 12, and I wouldn't be shocked if he's sitting there on the board at 30. That's a tough one to pull the trigger on, even though he's got some great highlights and plays, and there's some things to really like about him. Man, that he is going to be the one. He's the one I find to be about as all over the place as anybody I've talked to with teams in this whole draft process. So I'm going to be very interested to see what happens with him.
We're going to talk about your mock draft coming up later. Mine is something that I don't do. I have someone I trust who puts it all together, and I just copy, paste, and no snarky comment the night before the eve of the draft. I've got Smith and Jigba, not me, but whoever put mine together, has Smith and Jigba, Texans 12, and Zay Flowers, who will hopefully be joining us in about 45 minutes, going to the Packers at number 13.
Ooh.
So never mind my own opinion that they don't need to go with the receiver at 13. Maybe Zay Flowers is the guy they're thinking about by moving ahead of the New England Patriots, who possibly would draft the Boston College.
I would love it.
That they know very well.
I would love it. I'd love that they got Zay Flowers, and all of a sudden now Aaron Rodgers is gone, and they've gone all in on weapons, and they got an all-star offense with an unproven quarterback. It'd actually be typical Packers right there. I don't even. That seriously would be such a slap in the face and so disrespectful and crazy. But it does make sense too, in the fact that if you want Jordan Love to succeed and make that work, and and then continue that propaganda of, hey, it was good we got rid of Aaron Rodgers, and look, we got rid of him at the right time, and our quarterback is ready and our team's good. Well, that certainly will help the situation, and that where I can understand their logic in Green Bay and wanting to do that too.
Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.